This ugly loser boy is reincarnated in another world with magic after dreaming of a quiet life while learning to use his newfound water magic. He begins to train hard alone by fighting monsters and dragons to survive in this fantastical world. It starts in a huge forest with distant mountains. In a house there, a boy lay on his bed before getting up and stepping outside, glancing at 2 books and a knife on the way. Under the bright sky, he whispered, "Water, come to me," like a wannabe Avatar cosplayer, and a water orb briefly appeared in his hand before vanishing. Suddenly, he isekai in a strange realm where a dollar store angel guy greeted him as Mihara Rio and said he had died in an accident. When Rio asked if he was God, and the guy's like, "Nah, just a Miguel, budget angel," Rio decided to call him Miguel. Told he would be reincarnated, Rio asked what to do in the meantime, and Miguel said he could live freely. Rio said he just wanted peace. Miguel then revealed he'd be reborn in a magical world called Phi, where 20% of people use magic, and Rio's strongest element was water. He'd live in Rondo Forest in a prepared house with supplies and monster protection, thanks to Miguel, who also flipped through a monster guidebook like some enchanted IKEA catalog. Mihara Rio realized he'd never seen that alphabet before, but he can read it now because of plot armor. One book was titled The Flora Compendium. In the backyard, the newly reborn boy summoned a small stream of water. After a few tries, he discovered he didn't need to say anything aloud. Just picturing the element worked. A pity, since yelling "water jet" at an enemy sounded fun. Relaxing in the tub, he summoned more water but found it was always room temperature. No hot baths yet. Later, he tried starting a fire the old-fashioned way with sticks but gave up, joking it's smart to quit if something's clearly not working. Tired, he lay on the grass, looked at a water bucket, and wondered if he could freeze it. Imagining the molecules, he focused on pulling away the heat. Eventually, the water turned to ice and Rio smiled. He even formed a small ice orb and used it to reflect sunlight onto wood, finally starting a fire. That let him warm his bath, and he ended the day feeling proud. After soaking, he went to bed, ready for tomorrow. By morning, he ate some meat and remembered Miguel had left him 2 months of food. Rio realized he'd have to hunt once the food ran out. The woods beyond the barrier were crawling with monsters, so he needs serious magic. His knife wouldn't be enough. Without delay, he went to the yard and launched a water orb at a tree. His accuracy was solid, but the weak splash wouldn't stop a boar. Still, Rio had a trick. If the orb failed, maybe a concentrated jet would work. He stepped back, visualized a sharp stream, and fired, but it barely moved. Discouraged, he remembered asking Miguel about magic. The angel said magic was rooted in imagination and clarity. Motivated, Rio practiced till sunset and finally managed a proper water jet. That night, instead of freezing water like before, he warmed it for a bath. The next day, he tested freezing water midair. It worked, just slower than expected. When he finally formed an icicle spear and threw it, it didn't travel far and felt impractical. He shelved the idea and kept training. To mix things up, he summoned water orbs across the sky and launched them upward with force. After training with the icicle lance until sundown and nearly exhausting his mana, Rio went inside to eat, only to realize too late he hadn't lit a fire. He spent the night cold and in darkness. Over the next few days, he kept practicing in the yard until he could instantly summon the lance, even if its range was still short. With his new progress, he fashioned a spear with a frozen tip and ventured beyond the protective barrier into the woods. Early on, he found quartz near the river, perfect for starting fires without sunlight. All he needed now were detox herbs to make the trip a full win. But danger was close. A wild boar suddenly charged, startling him. Though frozen in fear, at first, Rio narrowly dodged, and the creature slammed into a tree. Shaken but focused, he used his magic to create an icy trail that dragged the boar toward him, then launched 16 spears of ice straight into it. The plan succeeds, and the battle ends instantly. That night, back home, Rio reads that minor boars are considered some of the weakest creatures. The memory of struggling with just one makes him shiver. While flipping through his monster guide, he finds 2 final pages separated like an advanced section. There, he discovers a dragon entry able to wipe out a city solo. If spotted, the best advice: run and maybe you'll survive. Another entry follows. Demon, not angelic, with an unknown origin. Warning, hope you never meet one. These details hit Rio hard. The world is vaster and deadlier than he thought. The next day, he returns to the forest and picks his favorite fruit, tart and sweet. Suddenly, a massive bird swoops down, nearly catching him with its claws, then hurls a wind attack that slices trees apart. Realizing the danger, Rio bolts, forming ice barriers as protection. He recalls this beast, the killer falcon, wind/expert, and retaliates with water jets. The bird dodges with ease and dive bombs him, but Rio summons an ice dome just in time, slamming it to the ground. Though wounded, especially in one eye, the falcon manages to rise and fly away, leaving Rio relieved. Despite his progress, not everything goes smoothly. After chasing a bird, Rio gets lost and ends up stuck in the forest until night. While wandering, he finds a glowing lake and spots a headless knight and horse drifting over the surface. The next day, he's back to hunting and manages to kill a huge snake, later bringing home some fish. After upgrading his ice barrier, he dives into the ocean but gets chased off by a massive octopus. Over time, Miura learns a new spell, Abrasive Jet, able to cut through stone using water. He soon figures out that hardened ice can replace grit, pushing his magic skills forward. One night at the lake, he encounters the Headless Knight again. With no record of it in his monster guide, Rio assumes it's far too advanced. Still, he dares to fight. The dull end easily parries his blows, forcing Rio to defend with ice. Exhausted, he drops, realizing he's not strong enough. If the knight doesn't finish him, he gives Rio a sword of water, hinting he came not to kill, but to teach. The following day, Rio encounters the deadly falcon once more, now more terrifying and wrapped in eerie shadows. When it strikes, he summons 5 ice walls, but they're effortlessly shattered by its wind magic. Realizing how grim the situation is, he keeps running and repeatedly rebuilds the barriers, but even 10 layers can't hold the beast back. He launches icicle spears, yet the falcon evades them with ease. It then obliterates his freshly made walls using a mysterious power, leaving Rio wide open. As if that wasn't enough, it fires a lightning spell that nearly takes him out. Refusing to fall, Rio switches from magic to his water sword, managing to parry the falcon's blows and push it back. Calm and steady, he regains control and waits for the next charge. As the bird swoops down, he strikes with precision, landing a devastating hit. Approaching the wounded creature still clinging to life, Rio thanks it for the hard-earned lessons. He knows that had he not grown stronger, he wouldn't have survived this rematch. Honoring the falcon's resolve and growth, Rio vows to grant it a dignified end. He pulls his blade from the foe, ending its life. In the next moment, a red dragon flies above Rondo Forest, where Mihara is strolling. Suddenly, he comes face to face with the enormous beast. Landing swiftly, the dragon uses telepathy to ask if he's seen an evolved killer hawk nearby. Mistaking the bird as the dragon's ally, Rio apologizes. Realizing Rio killed it, the dragon notices the Fairy King's sword at his side and concludes the king must trust him deeply. Rio, unsure, says he has a few questions of his own. As dusk falls, the dragon hears a distant call and introduces himself as Lewin before flying off. Rio watches him go, amazed he spoke with a dragon. Elsewhere, Miguel, staring at a tablet, realizes he missed something. Rio holds a rare power not seen since he exiled a girl 10,000 years ago, eternal youth. If you're enjoying the journey of this series, please hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. All of your support helps me to keep bringing more high-quality recaps.